Welcome back, guys. This is, of course, still the Predator Alliance League 2020 Summer, powered by Globe Telecom, Twitch Student, and presented by Globe Prepaid's Virtual Hangouts. We were your shoutcasters from earlier. I'm Hiron, with me is Berserk, and we are still your shoutcasters for this game. Our last game for today, and potentially the last game for a group stage. This is going to be Valiant Esports from Holy Angel University versus De La Salle University's Viridis Arcus team. So this is quite a precarious situation. So MU is 2-2, and both of these teams are 1-2. So whoever wins this, of course, goes 2-2. But looking at the head-to-head, it doesn't look uh, it doesn't look too good here for the teams.
Right. This is another situation just like the LG versus DLSU,
Yeah.
LG versus UPD one a while ago. That this is a game that dictates what who goes to the playoffs basically. So looking at these two teams, HAU and Holy Angel University and the DLSU Viridis Arcos, like at the start of the split, I would have said that they would probably be evenly matched. But I have to give it to probably DLSU right now to win this match.
The biggest unfortunate thing here for DLSU that if they win this, they're not the ones going second seed playoff since they lose the head-to-head
Yeah.
to the mages from Apoy University. Meanwhile, if HAU wins, then it counts for them since they are winning the head-to-head against the MU mages. So this is definitely HAU gunning for second seed and DLSU trying to deny them that chance and giving it to MU. Still, though, I'm expecting a very good showing from both of these teams. Like you said, I do favor DLSU a little bit looking from these showings, but we're gonna have to see. I think, of course, jungle is always like the contentious role for matchups, but I think top lane is going to be quite important as well. Both of these, the champion pools for these top laners definitely gonna be tested.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of want to see if what the approach of DLSU will be for this game, given that what you said, it's not really going to matter for them specifically what the result of this match would be. So I'm kind of hoping to see a fun team comp uh, to be pulled out by the LSU right now, but we'll have to see. Holy Angel University, though, Valiant Esports, they're coming from a hard loss against USC, right? That was their previous game, and that was like a really surprising outcome
Yeah,
from the eyes of us viewers. So
very few
we'll
people
have
expected that.
yeah we'll have to see like how they bounce back from that loss, and let's see if they deserve to contend for that second seed.
Yeah, like even if DLSU here, it doesn't technically matter for them in terms of the score, but I think it matters to them in the sense that it's still the official Predator Alliance League 2020 Summer, and every game here, even if it's not one that brings you to playoffs, it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to polish your macro and your mechanics, and it's an opportunity to give a good showing, give a good representation not only of you yourselves as players, but also as a team, as an organization, as a school, and as a community. So I think that's really the line of thinking here for DLSU. Maybe they'll give us like something very competitive. They could also give us something very fun, and I think either way, that would reflect pretty well on them.
Yeah, and again, I'm excited to see DLSU too, because some trivia again. UPD and LG have been scrimming DLSU consistently, and surprisingly, like most of the games that they've had with these two teams, they almost always come out as the winner. DLSU has so. Uh, right now, I'm taken aback that they're actually 1-2. But like what you said, I still want them to do their best, regardless if they pull out a team comp that is at the level of being really competitive or something that's fun. Uh, so we'll just have to wait and see on that matter.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be starting soon. I think uh, we're just missing a few players in the lobby, but yeah, uh, But this has just been a very eventful bunch of weeks here for Predator Alliance League. Lots of ups and downs for teams, but definitely every game, whether it's a stomp or whether it's a gripping, tense, uh, close game. Either way, it's been very entertaining for as a caster, as viewers, as I'm sure you guys are waiting. I have been watching, and yeah, let's just keep building this community. Let's keep making this the collegiate esports scene around the Philippines thrive. I mean, uh, we've all been working on it for years now. So yeah, let's keep building it. Share the stream with your friends. Twitch.tv/AcadArenaPH. Check out AcadArena.com, and of course check out the Esports AcadArena Facebook page for more announcements. And of course, if your school doesn't have collegiate esports yet, or if you're looking to go for make it form an organization or at least a partnership, then just send AcadArena a message. So yeah, going to this, very exciting last game of the group stage. There will be no big tiebreakers. This is do or die here for HAU.
Yep, definitely, and after all of these groups, after this group stage concludes, projecting a bit into the future, the playoffs. I know that UST is the number one seed, arguably for everyone. But Hyron, who do you think could possibly, out of all of the possible contenders, who could maybe pull an upset win against that powerhouse of a team?
Like, if we look at it from a playoffs point of view, or just from the 8 teams that we have in Alliance League.
No, you can go either way. I just
Yeah,
like to go.
I mean, from the growth that UPD has shown, I definitely think they have a good chance of taking down UST a peg. And I mean, this isn't just my school pride showing. Like the growth that Alto and Solis, actually the entire team, has shown from the past splits, past years. I think they're definitely a contender. What I'm not sure of if they can match up against UST with Dane, Forzando, and Pau in it. That's one thing that I'm still unsure of, and I'm I'm going to err on the side of caution and say maybe that UST roster has still not found its match in Alliance League, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yep. So right now, though, let's head into the match of Valiant Esports from Holy Angel University against Viridis Arcus from De La Salle University. As we see our first bans coming in, pretty standard. Galio really strong mid laner, so you want to deny that early game pressure. And Caitlyn, also the most contested AD carry right now, given the meta. So,
and this Nidalee ban here, there have been no bans or no picks for the DLSU jungler to pick up Nidalee, but I guess it's been rising in popularity in the past few weeks, and I don't blame them for trying to go. As for the Galio ban, it's been, well, not only is it a strong ban in general, but I do think it's scary in the hands of Duckman, who brings so much utility to the team. It's been 100% banned against Viridis Arcus here. The Ash will be taken away from Holy Angel University. So really focusing in on the bot lane here for HAU.
Yeah, and Kenzon is actually a player who used to play amateur pro in the league competitive scene, so it's not a surprise that DLSU is deciding to focus ban him out. But this does leave Ezreal open for now. I'm not really sure if they're going to decide to take that away from him, because Ezreal is a safe pick. He can pretty much pick any other AD carry into that. So let's see. It's a Yon or Yone ban, actually.
So Ezreal is open here, but the thing is, does HAU's bot lane? Wonder if they will pull out the Ezreal at this point. We're gonna have to see. Because the Rek'Sai ban here kind of tells me that not only is it, of course, a ban against the jungler for DLSU, but also that they want to keep bans, or rather keep the champion pool open for themselves early. And they're prioritizing Trundle. Trundle priority for Valiant Esports.
That's surprising for me. And DLSU, they picked Volibear into the Trundle. So that's very surprising for me. Like, the only situation I would first pick Trundle is if I would want to draft tanks for my own team as well. so that I could take away that counter pick away. Oh,
But
yeah.
here it seems like
So,
they are confident in the Volibear against the Trundle. And here, this could telegraph the Zaya Rakan here. How did use this in one of their previous games in Alliance League. I'm not. I don't think it performed too well, but of course, Zaya Rakan, just the natural synergy of the two, will allow for some pretty clean plays here if they really get good spacing. But yeah, that's Viridis Arcus trying to go for their last pick here for the first rotation. They have okay, so not giving too much information, just go straight into Lucian Thresh here into this bot lane. As for the bans,
yeah, Lucian Thresh versus Sire Rakan. This is I would say this is just basically can Rakan land his knockups versus can Thresh land his hooks. So it's a really big support skill matchup here for the bot lane. So we'll have to see. Silas though, first ban coming in from the side of Viridis Arcus. A really good ban, I would say, given the current patch. Lots of things that Silas can be picked into. So
yeah, and
that's
lots
one
of
of
good
them.
ultimates that you can take away from a lot of comps here. But here, Valiant Esports, who are they gonna ban away here? Of course, Duckman is warranted. That Anivia ban here. Let's see if Viridis Arcus goes for a ban against Red Plank. Red Plank and Ursus do share quite a bit of their champion pool. The Shen, the Gangplank, the Mordekaiser. These are things that are within their pockets here. So we're gonna see if Viridis Arcus wants to deny them a pick here top side and then take something for themselves going into first pick. So no, they respect Parzival a lot more than they fear Red Plank here. And let's see what HAU tries to go for it with their final ban.
Yeah, so first ban though, no seems like no Duckman Quack this game. Anivia, we know that Duckman on this Anivia and Galio, he does know how to play these two champions really well. So good bans from Valiant Esports right now. Let's see what they decide to take away next. Syndra.
Really a
We
lot
all
of
know that
respect for mid laners.
yeah, but Syndra has been nerfed recently, so not too big of an early game threat anymore. But still, if she manages to land her stuns, then that could prove deadly. That's why they decided to take her away. So Draven being hovered. I mean, this Lucian can be a flex, but
Gangplank here.
no.
Taking
Yeah.
away the Gangplank from Red Plank, and Ursus has it for himself. Let's see if HAU's top laner responds in kind. The
Ooh, okay. What?
pretty spicy here coming in.
Kalista top?
Kalista. Is that a lock-in? I can't quite confirm. But if that's a lock-in against this Gangplank,
Ooh.
I can't see it doing okay with jungle support. I mean, after all.
I mean, okay,
okay,
so it's
that's
not gonna be a Kalista top. I was a bit excited for that one, but Darius. I don't
mean,
know.
it fares pretty. I think it fares pretty well against the Gangplank as long as you.
That's the thing. I mean, you'd like to pick Darius to stomp over the enemy top laner, but being okay against the Gangplank, I'm not sure if that's what they really want here for how. But we'll have to see. Maybe he has some other plans for this Darius. But Oriana being
Orianna?
locked in second and Veigar, the answer to that. So I think the Veigar is actually a good answer to the comp of Valiant because they want to go in with that Rakan, with that Darius. Trundle cannot, but the zone control that Veigar provides, pair that up with Thresh and Gangplank's ultimate as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. That's a lot of
It's-
lockdown coming into
yeah.
these team fights, and that's prime real estate for Thresh hooks, for Leomar to just dance around with his relentless pursuit, putting people down with his light slinger bullets. Yeah, I'm really liking the draft here from Viridis Arcus. And as for Valiant Esports, it's tough. They do have engaged tools in the quickness and the shockwave, but I just feel like Viridis Arcus, like when they start locking down these team fights, even under turret, because they have the Volibear, it's gonna be tough for Valiant Esports to resist that. They don't really have a super beefy tank, right?
No super beefy tank, but I guess I guess there's much more flexibility in terms of the tools available for the comp of Viridis Arcus. They can split push with this gangplank with just the global pressure from his ultimate. Volibear dives are there. Lots of terrain control from again the Vagar and the gangplank thresh too. And if I think for this game it's gonna come out, it's gonna matter heavily on the performance of the bot lane because Kenzon focused usually yung ginagawa ng HAU. So if Viridis Arcos can match that, maybe even get an early lead from the Lucian, and be that bridge that Vagar needs to scale into the late game, then that's probably gonna work out in Viridis Arcos' favor.
We're gonna have to see though, but that's what we think, guys. And of course, Shamey has redeemed herself 1-2 so far today. Let's see if she brings us a correct prediction again for this next game that we have. It's Hedgehog time. You got a sneak peek of this earlier, but we didn't get to see Shamey picked yet.
Yep. So let's see if she can redeem herself and bring herself up to that 2-2 correct predicts.
Decisive HAU vote here coming in from Shamey. So against the grain, this Hedgehog going against the grain here. Both of us do favor DLSU a little bit in this matchup, but we're gonna have to see. But you know, that's what we think. That's what Shamey thinks. We're gonna have to hear out what you guys in the chat think, because I'm seeing a lot of support in the chat here. It's either gonna be HAU hashtag HAU win for HAU versus hashtag DLSU win for, of course, DLSU Viridis Arcus with the official hashtag Globe Prepaid Virtual Hangouts. Make some noise in the chat. This is going on until the 5th minute of this game, so make sure to share the stream with your friends. Have them join the giveaway as well, because these are Garena shells on the line. You can use these to buy maybe catch up in terms of the Spirit Blossom event. Maybe save it up for the Psycho Ops skins. Up to you guys. It's gonna be very, very fun, and this is gonna be the last the last day we have for group stage. Since there's no tiebreakers, I think we're gonna have a break next week. I'm gonna have to confirm, but Hearthstone semis, Hearthstone quarters rather, will still be next week, and of course tomorrow we do have MLBB National Cup Arena. Yeah, so very exciting. Always a lot of collegiate esports action here at Arena, Esports Arena. So stay tuned.
Yep, and thank you also to everyone here in Twitch chat for supporting all of this, being with us side by side, seeing the growth of these teams, these players in Hearthstone too. So all this also, it would be really hard for all of this to happen without your support. So we have to thank you for that, as we will be heading into the last game for today. Again, this is going to be Valiant Esports from Holy Angel University against Viridis Arcus from De La Salle University. Shamey is with HAU right now, Valiant Esports. As for my take and Hyron, a bit edging towards Viridis Arcus, but we'll have to see if which side fate is truly on for this final game.
It's also not just the fate and destiny, but also how they play the map, how they play the macro.
Right.
And their execution. Both of these teams definitely have clear win conditions, what they want to do. But we're gonna have to see as HAU versus DLSU comes into play here. Remember, chat rally still going on till minute 5 on the game. We've loaded onto the rift here for Holy Angel University, Valiant Esports versus DLSU Viridis Arcus, the Green Archers of LaSalle. Let's get right into it. Seems like just regular lines of scrimmage coming through for our teams.
Yeah, so nothing really decisive right now in terms of securing early vision. Nothing like what UST usually does, top or bottom side 5-man invades. So pretty safe for both teams. On the side of HAU, I'd really like to see Red Blanc coming out on top with that early game advantage for Darius. Maybe some jungle pressure coming from Corgi, as he seems to be starting in the bot side, so maybe that's what we will be getting from them. And on the side of DLSU, Leo Mark, I kinda want to see him pop off as well for that bot side. So it looks like the junglers will be starting on the opposite ends of the map, and they won't be meeting each other anytime soon.
Quite different priorities here, but of course I do understand. Like you want this Gangplank to fail if you're HAU. You want this Darius to get a very solid lead onto this Gangplank, because once this Gangplank gets behind, this Darius is just gonna roll over him. Kaidan is gonna go for a cheese here. The grand entrance coming in through. Leomark already very, very low. Ignite is ticking down. Can they get that one last auto? Unable to, but it's still a win as Leomark is forced to flash. And his potions are ticking here. Not willing to concede the lane here by backing. Just needs to be a little bit more careful in the following minutes.
Yeah, really good play from Kinson and Kaidan right there. As Red Blank looks to be moving forward.
Oh, look at that. And those bleed ticks on Ursus are going to come down. That is going to be immediate flash. Are the bleed stacks going to kill him here? It seems like the pots from the corrupting pot will be enough to save him. Teleport back to lane indeed, but this is how already asserting their dominance over DLSU.
Yeah, and this is big. TP being burned, I guess. It seems like it may not be the case. He's just gonna decide to walk the top because it's not really gonna be a hard push from Red Blank, deciding to take that XP lead instead. And for bottom lane, Leomark though, he decided not to burn the heal, so that's one consolation for him. Good patience being demonstrated by him. But this does kinda give them the handicap, a negative handicap. So
that's going to be
Ventus.
quite dangerous here. It is going
was
to
so
be
close.
DLSU Eternal trying to look for something. Of course, looking at the house movements. Oh, Ursus here might get blocked with the pillar. Is going to get apprehended here. Lots of damage coming in from Red Plank. That is going to be the bleed stacks finishing him off as Red Plank doesn't even look as Ursus bleeds out on the ground. A first blood going to HAU and a 1k gold lead at 3 minutes and 30. HAU looking strong.
So that's a check mark for one of HAU's win conditions. Early game Darius getting fed at this point in the game, this early for that matter. It's gonna be a really big deal.
It's a two-prong. Oh, but Eternal is going to go for a gank here onto Kaidan and Kinzon. The death is going to come through onto this Rakan, but Eternal taking a lot of damage. The passage is going to be able to get him out of trouble, but Ventus, though, could be in a little bit of trouble. Those bleed stacks are ticking through, but it will not be enough to finish him off as Teleport gets burned here for Red Flank. Very, very
Okay, this is a net win for DLSU for sure. This gives Ursus that early game breathing room that he really needed. I don't think that TP was worth there, because if you're on a Darius, you really want to be playing selfish, you know. And he practically gave up his early lead because of that play, but we'll have to see. He is still a kill up, but for sure, XP wise, he might end up falling a bit behind.
And CS wise, it's pretty much been evened out by Ursus here. So yeah, I mean, gold's still slightly on their side. I mean, before 5 minutes, a 1k gold lead is pretty substantial. But here, it seems like HAU's looking for something here against HAU. But it seems like they know, they have a feeling of what's up, so they are going to back off at this point. Yeah.
And so just to hover from Eternal there, making sure that nothing fishy happen, nothing like dangerous happens to the DLSU bot lane. So right now, I expect Corgi to keep pressuring top lane in a while, but the bot lane duo of HAU actually has managed to secure like a permanent lane priority for bot. So Dragon is also an option as jungler of HAU.
And of course, this is a Trundle, so that Drake is going to go falling down really quick once HAU gets their hands on it. DLSU, their backs are getting delayed here by HAU. Unfortunate. And this is just going to continue, let this... Oh, going to be a stun here. Event Horizon, making sure Parzival does not have any breathing room, has to flash over, but that is going to be DLSU tearing him down. That's gonna be a kill onto Duckman here. Can Corgi get a kill onto Eternal? He's trying to run away, gets the stun out. Maybe Duckman can finish it off, but no, it is just gonna be Corgi with a revenge kill onto that Volibear.
Really good play from DLSU there, but it was answered by Corgi. He knew that he could get the kill onto Eternal right there because he was just really low. And he had flash up. So, good trade coming in for HAU right now as we do see that actually top lane has kind of stabilized for Ursus right now. So that early game 1k gold lead right now 700 a bit considerable but nothing I'm sure it's nothing that DLS you can't handle.
Yeah, 7 minutes is not as impressive here, and it's still pretty much anyone's game here. But looking at how the junglers have been impacting the lanes, they're quite even, but Corgi has just been the timing here. Ventus is going to try and go for Kairan and Kinzon here. Lots of damage coming onto that Thresh. This is a 2v2 situation still. Kinzon is going to flash away, flash over here for Leomark to go for the relentless pursuit. And that is going to be the Rakan trying to run away here. Can get a stun from Eternal, but no, too dangerous deep within the turret. That's going to be a kill for this team, for DLSU rather.
And that's what Ursus on this Gangplank can provide to the rest of his team that Red Plank can't on this Darius. Global pressure. So
By the way.
yeah, I mean good kill.
Yeah. And
It's a trade kill actually.
But still though, DLSU looking to stabilize his top side. This Mountain Drake is going to be contentious as well. First Drake of the game, setting the stage for objectives. And this is really a litmus test for what's going to happen for the rest of the game. Whoever takes this first means that they are going to be the more proactive, more the ones that are pressuring. And we're going to have to see if whether it be HAU or DLSU. Right now, Mountain Drake not really a big priority for either of these teams.
Yeah. And you can see a bit of a game being played here by Red Plank. Destroying the barrels that Ursus places, but he does manage to burn the flash. And this could prompt Corgi to make a quick rotate on the top lane after they maybe try and secure Dragon. Things are coming down. So they do have lane priority bot lane, but both mid laners are just coming from a recall. So they decide to back off for now.
This Mountain Drake takes a while to take, so I don't think they're going to risk getting caught with their pants down near the Drake pit trying to take that. After all, it's not a super big priority Drake here for either of these comps. So the Rift Herald might be a different story here as Eternal is already on it, trying to take it down. Corgi is behind on that uptake for that Herald, so I think he's just going to go straight for the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, good spot by Eternal here, knowing that Red Blank went for a base recall. Recall timing himself, so he was free to pick up that Rift Herald unpunished. But seems like Corgi doesn't want to just let that go for free and decides to take this Mountain Drake for his team.
Yeah, good catch there for Corgi. Of course, it's gonna be up to DLSU of how much worth of a trade Drake to Herald is. If they can open up the map, because these turrets are still fully plated up for the side of HAU. So if they can't open up the map with this Rift Herald, or at least get a lot of plates in, so to get that gold, then it's gonna be DLSU coming out ahead, or rather HAU coming out ahead on that trade.
Right, and almost a 2v2 here in the mid lane, but both junglers are just on the opposite ends. Actually, are a really accurate parallel being shown here by both sides. So nothing much happening, just clearing a few pink wards for both ends.
Yeah.
And yeah,
there's really a back and forth in terms of vision here for HAU and DLSU, which is especially crucial since they're not really. Shockwave is going to come through for Duckman. There's going to be the Event Horizon try and zone away Parzival as well. Man, that E coming in from that Veigar is just coming in clutch to zone out DLS or zone out HAU here.
Well, so proficiency right there on Veigar. He wouldn't be on that champion if he wasn't confident in running it. I'm curious to see though which side of the map, which first tower of the map, Eternal decides to summon that Rift Herald for. So opening up bot lane could be a possible option. So Lucian could rotate to another side of the map and start taking towers for himself too. But uh, top lane though for Ursus looks like he's having a bit of a hard time, and Corgi here
Oh,
sneaking
he
up.
could get moved here. The pillar is going to come through apprehend. Will make sure he doesn't escape, and that's going to be Corgi chomping down on him for
Right.
an easy kill. Before the Triforce, before the level spikes to make sure that the barrel countdown is lower, this Gangplank is so vulnerable to these dives. And HAU knows this full well, the weakness of this Gangplank. After all, Red Flank does play the Gangplank himself. That is going to be Event Horizon pulled down here. Flash over
Oh, nice
both the
sidestep.
blocks and the Event Horizon means that DLSU does not get the kill onto Parzival. Corgi going for the rotate, maybe held out his mid lane to relieve a little bit of pressure, but we'll see what they do with this.
Yeah, Flash being burned right now. Good sidestep from Parzival to dodge the death sentence from Ventus. Duckman though, it's his turn. Oh, nice flash.
Yeah, Event Horizon there, and Stormbringer coming in from Eternal, maybe get some damage out. Primordial Burst is ready for this Vagar. Can he finish off the kill on this Oriana? Gonna try the chomp. The Frenzied Maul coming in from Eternal, taking away that kill. Duckman though, zoning him away. Still gets through the Event Horizon. Can he make the great escape? Will HAU pull the trigger in this bot lane? Charms Ventus, immediate kill onto him. Leomar can try and kite away, but Keenson going crazy as Ventus will be snuffed out with a Feather Storm. Doesn't even need a Blade Caller. And HAU doing pretty well for themselves here in this bot lane. 3-1-0 on this Saya.
Yeah, bot lane of HAU really performing pretty well in the first 13 minutes of the game. 3 kills in the pockets of Kinzon, and for sure with that experience that he has being an amateur pro AD carry in the past, he knows what to do with that. And on the other hand though, Duckman escaping with his life there after securing, helping
Oh,
turn
Event
the
Horizon
kill
once
Parzival,
again.
but
Parzival dodging away from it. This is going to be the Riftherald summoned here just to apply a little bit of pressure onto Parzival and Corgi, onto this turret. Get the plates. 320 gold easy onto Eternal here means that a very much appreciated gold boost for this Volley Bear. It is
definitely. It's the third time mid jungle duos converging into mid lane this game. So lots of, surprisingly enough, like lots of pressure being exerted on that part of the map, even though both of these mid laners are scaling champions. But something I'd like to point out is Corgi has been doing a really good job as Red Flank.
Oh, good flash there from Ursus, but that means Red Flank
Again.
will go for a solo kill on him again if he stays around his turret. This
Yeah,
is going to be Infernal Drake spawning within the next minute. Could be dangerous.
Yeah, every time Red Blanc manages to just solo burn that flash of Ursus, it just prompts Corgi to just, okay, let's go top, let's kill this Gangplank who's immobile, who doesn't have flash. It's pretty easy. So we can expect that to happen after this pause, possibly after this dragon, but right now mukhang nag-chill muna dito sa bottom side brush yung trio ng bot lane and
It's just like
jungler.
games paused moments before disaster. Because Eternal, if he face checks into 3 on that brush beside the Gromp, it's gonna be disastrous. He's gonna let Valiant Esports take down possibly bot turret, because they will have the numbers advantage against that bot lane there. So it's gonna be quite tough here for DLSU if they can't repel and stem the bleeding against Valiant Esports.
Yeah, that's true. But on the other hand, they still do have that late game insurance policy in the form of that Vagar mid. So he's doing a good job too, Duckman. Like surviving all of these ganks, burning flash when needed. But at the same time, Parzival has been doing a good job as well. Uh, Both teams have had their moments in the early game, pulling out proactive plays on their own, but right now it seems like things are skewed a bit more towards the side of HAU.
Yeah. And it seems like the Shady buffs are coming through for HAU there. Not only is their bot lane doing very, very well, they've been doing a lot of proactive moves around the map. And if it's DLSU getting onto a neutral objective first, they make sure to get an opposing objective. Maybe plates on a turret, maybe the Drake as well. And this is reflecting good on the Valiant Esports team here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the urgency, yeah, that's the word. The urgency is apparent right now for Holy Angel University's Valiant Esports. They know that they have to win this game, and they're really bringing the pedal to the metal. So it's they're doing a good job right now. Have to give it to Corgi. He's there when he needs to. Really punishing that flashless gangplank again and again, and just the bot lane of Valiant Esports right now, making their own place without any jungler intervention. So
Yeah, I'm not really
kudos to
feeling
them.
the Gangplank either. I mean, I always don't like Gangplank in 2020. I feel like it's just too vulnerable of a pick that requires so much babying and so much setup as well to get to its power spikes. And here, well, with Ursus not having his Triforce just yet, I think that means that this is just prime dive dive cues here for how to go topside. I mean, we saw Corgi and Red Plank just constantly diving him, keeping away from his minions as well. And that's gonna be a thing until Viridis Arcus' top laner gets gets the levels needed for the barrels to tick down faster, as well as getting his power spikes in terms of items.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. But if the longer we progress into the game, though, what's gonna happen is the Gangplank will eventually start to scale and outscale the Darius. So he manages to somewhat, if Ursus manages to somewhat, stay alive, not give away any more unnecessary. It's basically going to negate all of the gold advantage that Darius has in his pockets right now.
Yeah. So very precarious situation for both of these teams. If HAU can just keep pressing this advantage, then and if they finish this game fast, then they're gonna be golden, and they are gonna be moving on to the second seed for playoffs if they continue with this. But of course, I think we've loaded back onto the game here. HAU once again took another Drake, Infernal Drake, which is huge for this kind of composition that wants to end the game quite early. Ocean Drake Ocean Soul will be the pickup.
Oof.
When we look at that Parzival though, not enough mana to sustain that fight
Oh,
against Duckman, and with a sliver of health, that might have been literally 2 or 3 HP from that turret shot. Man, that is gonna be death sentence not connecting. This is gonna be
oh.
Corgi though. The quickness going for the charm onto Ventus and Leomark, the Feather Storm as well, just to seal the deal. And that is gonna be how Kinzon taking names here. And that's really the game plan of how you said it's very Kinzon centric. And then now that Corgi, he's done all that he can for Parzival or Red Plank, or all that he needs to. Now he just needs to keep enabling Kinzon, and it's working out swell for them. 5-1-1 on the Zaya. Very, very scary. So much zone control just from the Parzival ball and the Kinzon feathers.
Yeah, definitely. And Corgi, wow, he it's a really big check mark for him. One of the main jobs that a jungler has to do is basically itawid yung early game, and he did more than that. He built like a golden bridge basically for his team for the early game, and it's enabling them right now to transition into mid game with just sheer pressure. They can move around the map now because of this early lead that they've found themselves with, and DLSU has to find an answer for this. I mean, they can scale, but right now they're marching down the doors of mid lane, looking to take down this mid T1.
Another turret in the hands
Oh,
of HAU. That's even more
hello.
gold. But look at that. Ursus getting bullied here by Red Plank. That is going to be the passive taking down. Ursus just glugging down that corrupting pot to try and stave off the bleeding. But that basically leaves DLSU in
Ooh.
a 5v4 situation here in this mid lane. This turret is not going to fall down just yet. So close, but they don't have the range to take it down. DLSU lives to fight another day in this mid lane here.
Yeah, the problem is for DLSU. the bridge to mid to late game that they supposedly would have had in the form of this Lucian pick, he wasn't enabled. So this is the price that they have to pay. They have to be on the receiving end right now of the aggression, up until Veigar and Gangplank uh, getting 2 items at the very least for themselves and start to show their advantage in terms of picks in team fights.
Leomar can't really afford to be within auto attack range for these fights here. Of course, Kaidan might be the pickup here, but very mobile, especially with the Zaya. That's a very, very mobile Rakan right there. But yeah, I don't think Leomar can afford to be within auto attack range. Because if you're within auto attack range, you're within range for Red Flank to get apprehended.
Yep.
And I think right now the culling is the best thing that Leomar can contribute to these team fights as Duckman and Ursa start coming down. But that's going to be Stormbringer coming down onto Eternal, but he falls down. Ventus will be the next target. Featherstorm does not come through for any kills here, but HAU still feeling the pain here, and that's ballooning into an 8k gold lead in favor of Valiant Esports.
Yep, not really worth it there. That 1-for-1 trade is just another 300 gold into the pockets of Kinzon on this Saya right now. Something I want to point out though, really good item pickup for Kaidan 2 on this Rakan QSS. He knows a lot of things he's gonna be facing lots of CC when he goes in basically. So I really like this pickup.
That basically allows him to go for the quickness unhindered, go for these grand entrances without getting canceled out. And yeah, I really like this pickup. It's self CC cleanse, but it's not like anyone else needs it. Like a red flank can just face tank stuff and regen with his decimate. Corgi as well can just stay within by the end. Actually, Corgi has the convergence, the Zeke's convergence here. They are gonna try and go for a fight against Eternal here. Death Sentence coming through, but this is a choke point, and this is where HAU shines. Red Plank decimates the opposition here, pushing away Ventus. That's just gonna be a lot of bleed ticks coming down on that Thresh here. Still, 1 kill. This could open up here for the entire turret. Duckman, no event horizon here to try and zone them away. This is going to be a clean turret take for HAU. 5th turret of the game here. 7k gold ahead.
Man, this is the HAU that I like seeing. This is such a different HAU compared to the HAU against USC last week. So I'm really happy that they've found themselves. They've found their flow. They seem to be really jiving well with each other right now, finding early game advantages. And that thing a while ago, Red Plank, that was a really clean 3-man pull, flash over the wall, and that ends up helping them secure this 3rd Drake. So it's soul point pressure for next Drake, Ocean Drake for that matter, for Valiant Esports.
I think that's super good for HAU here, being able to extend the team fight to their advantage, especially on this Darius and this Zaya. This Ocean Soul, if they get it, is going to be absolutely monstrous here against this DLSU competition that wants to finish these fights quickly, right? They have the Veigar, they have the Lucian. If they can't take them down in the initial alpha strike, then HAU can just gobble them up after they recover.
Ooh, Red Plank right now though. 4 people tailing him.
1v4 here. Ursus and Eternal trying to take him down. This is going to be Kaidan trying to save him, and I think DLSU is calls that off. Too deep and too dangerous, and they do call that off.
Yeah, good job by Red Plank, not really overextending too much there. Was able to just walk away safely, and looks like Baron pressure is what HAU's next plan is. Just denying vision from the side of DLSU, which they can because, I mean, they're really strong right now. So just rinse and repeat. Pushing waves, get vision, deny Baron pressure until maybe they can spot out someone from DLSU overcommitting to a face check. But right now they're on it.
They're going straight for it, so they don't really have any too much pressure here. Of course, Red Flank is wailing on that bottom lane, but DLSU has a little bit of leeway since their last turret there is going to be the inhibitor turret. But HAU definitely dancing the Baron dance here. We're gonna have to see if DLSU will break under this pressure. And speaking of pressure, I think HAU's been performing quite well under it. Like this is do or die for them to get into playoffs. And now that that's what's at stake, they're really polished up from what we saw in the previous games here from a Predator Alliance League summer 2020.
Yeah, seems like they've switched on their, on-off switch. For some reason, it was maybe left off during their game last week, but right now it's definitely on. Maybe even more than on. It seems like
They're on overdrive, basically.
yeah, they're in overdrive right now, and
Mhm.
the ball is in their court, and I think it's just gonna boil down to if they can follow through until late game, not like commit any more overextensions, any mistakes, because definitely they have the gold lead right now to just keep pushing for more objectives.
They have the kind of comp that you can just keep pressing that advantage. Of course, Darius, that champion that really wants to snowball, and at that point, he's on the way. So we're getting back into the game here. If they can, with the Triforce as well, very aggressive itemization coming in from Red Flank. It also helps out with his split pushing immensely. So a lot of pressure coming in from this Darius in the side lanes. Can DLSU resist the tides of fate here coming in from HAU?
Yeah. Resist actually favors the armor penetration build for Gangplank instead of the crit build. So that's probably what he'll be building towards this game. Wanting to see if he's gonna pull out that Leandris again, but let's see if this game lasts until then. Because right now, look at this.
Yeah, pulling the trigger here on this mid lane turret, keeping DLSU out of their own territory. They want this mid lane turret. They are equipped to take it down because even Red Flank has the Triforce. So DLSU not even trying to fight, but they are losing objectives. Duckman, though, if he gets separated from the rest of the team, this is super, super dangerous. The pillar comes down, the inhibitor is destroyed, and HAU nails in one coffin, and one nail in DLSU's coffin.
Yeah, and after this play, it's just Red Flank going back to his...
What a three-man coming in from Parzival, but no follow-up coming in from DLSU. Unfortunately, that was prime opportunity there for Red Flank to go in, flash with a decimate into an apprehend. Ooh, unfortunate there for HAU, but this does give DLSU a little bit of breathing room. Drake is going to come up. That's the soul pressure coming in from the Holy Angel University Valiant Esports squad.
Yeah, and I feel like Oriano will be ready for this dragon fight in time as well. If he can pull off that same caliber of a shockwave during a team fight in Drake, for sure, they're gonna win it. They're gonna take the soul, they're gonna take the team fight, but we'll have to see because Vigor is already partially online. 2 core items with that slow on Hextech and on Ghost. So, I mean, I think that DLS you can resist right now the power that House Team Comp has for themselves, but it may be only just up to that resist. I'm not sure if they have the what it takes yet to actually win or run over team fights for themselves.
Yeah, and here they're making a risky move here, going for the Ocean Drake to deny the soul from HAU. They're taking it out quite quickly, but they are quick QSS coming in from Kaidan to go for the quickness, and this is going to be Parzival taking out Mentos as well. It's a wash. DLSU taken down here as HAU gives pursuit. And they are running with their tails tucked between their legs. Here's the teleport interception coming in from Red Flank. Means that Leomar has nowhere to go. He gets dunked, not by Red Flank, but by Kinzon. And Ursus, his last stand here, he does have the cannon barrage. He still has the barrels. Is trying to do all he can, but he's not online. He's 0-2-1, and this Nexus is gonna get wailed on by Holy Angel University. And if they can finish off this team fight before DLSU respawns, they will. They secure second seed of Group B, following UST as its first seed. Viridis Arcus, we peg them as the as the one with the advantage coming into this, but Valiant
Yeah.
Esports proves us wrong, proving Shamey right. And look at that. Kaidan in Kinzon, the bot lane for Holy Angel University, the salvation for their team for this group stage, securing second seed.
Crescio and Tenebria, you better watch out for this bot lane duo of HAU. It's from this game alone seems like they're starting to mean business, and that game really it was a really good groundwork laid
Yeah.
out by Corgi, especially in the early game,
I
really
really
knowing where he
love
should be.
Corgi for
Yeah,
that.
punishing the gangplank of Ursus really hard whenever Flash was on cooldown, and it just translated really well because the bot lane of how handled themselves well to even more than that, finding an advantage on their own, and just a really clean game for how actually.
Because Kaidan and Kinzon were doing so well off in that bot lane that basically allowed Corgi to, okay, bot lane is okay now. Now we can let's just keep bullying the gangplank, keep making space for my solo laners. That's basically what happened here. And the final standings here, Teletigers, of course, first seed, Mapua University 2-2. However, they lose the head-to-head to Valiant Esports, who are taking the second seed. As for Group A, it's Oblation Esports with a 4-0, taking first seed, and iTamaros from FUIT coming in 3-1 for second seed. That's the group stage games. Uh, and this has been such a journey for all these teams. So much growth, so much potential proven, so much potential still latent. And I'm really excited to see
Definitely.
how the playoffs are gonna come through.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's by seeding semifinals would be UST versus FIT and HAU versus UPD. Both of them will be best of five, so watch out for those. I think we're gonna have MLBB National Cup tomorrow, and next Saturday, next week, is gonna be Hearthstone More Quarters, as well as the rescheduled League of Legends game between MCL, Malayan Warlocks, and USA Golden Eagles. So watch out for that. Make sure you guys check out the page for Esports Acad Arena for more updates. We have been your Shoutcasters. Thank you for staying with us for tonight. I'm Hyron. With me was Zerk, and we'll be seeing you with more esports action tomorrow and next week.